live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening. This is the National News Telecast. I'm Movin Hettiarachchi.
And I'm Hishai Nadi. Let's have a look at the headlines for tonight.
Postal voting of the presidential election begins. Election monitors of the European Union are on a study of the media service of the national television. 4 major three-wheel associations support the president. Pension anomalies rectified. Sajid Premadasa says 15,000 rupees cost of living allowance will be paid to pensioners. Andrukumara Disanayaka says that they will not unilaterally deviate from the IMF agreement. The president says in Mahiyangane that positive responses are received in postal voting. Namal Rajapaksa says new laws will be introduced to confirm the security of power and energy. New political alliance will be launched tomorrow. Now to those and more stories in detail on today's top story. Postal voting of the upcoming presidential election commences today.
The Election Commission says that marking the postal votes was held peacefully without any problems. 712,319 voters have qualified for postal voting. Returning officers of all districts have deployed election monitors in the process of postal voting. Colombo District official postal voting and the monitoring started this morning. Arrangements have been made to mark the postal votes at all district secretaries, Election Commission officers, senior and DIG officers, police superintendent officers and assistant superintendent officers, police stations, STF camps, special police units and VIP security divisions. Postal voting will take place tomorrow and day after as well. Those who fail to mark the votes in the 2 days will be able to mark their postal votes on the 11th and 12th of this month. To monitor the postal voting, 2 representatives and 1 election monitoring agent per each candidate have been given permission to enter the voting station. Majority of postal voters are from Kurunegala district. 76,977 individuals have qualified for postal voting there. The minimum number of 3,566 postal voters are registered from the Mullatiu district. According to the Election Commission, 35,636 have qualified for postal voting in the Colombo district. Election Commissioner Saman Sriratnayaka said that district officers of the election department, district secretaries and affiliated state institutions, police departments and their uniformed and civil staff today marked the postal votes. He said that in all places of postal voting today commenced peaceful manner without any incident. The media representative of the European Union election monitoring team today engaged in a study on the national television's media service.
The media representative of the European Union election monitoring team today engaged in a study on the national television's media service. The authorities enlightened her regarding the media service carried out by the national television in reporting the election-related news. The national television is the major official broadcaster since the first presidential election held in 1982 up to now. The national television allocated airtime free of charge equally to telecast all election rallies. It also provides equal space for political programs. The only television institute that respects the election monitoring and rules on regulation system is the national television. In this backdrop, European Union election monitoring team has focused their attention on the services of the national television. The media agent of the European Union election monitoring team, Adeline Marchi, engaged in an inspection tour of the national television this morning with the aim of studying its affairs. She inspected the technical section and studios and news division. Later, the chairman of the national television, senior professor Sudantha Liyanage, clarified the national television's contribution towards the presidential election. He also elaborated on the manner of how the airtime has been separated for each candidate without causing any discrimination. The European envoy also expressed her views regarding the role of the Sri Lankan media in the presidential election and the role of the national television in this connection. In the meantime, President Ranil Wickremesinghe says positive responses are received in postal voting. He made these remarks addressing a public rally in Mahianganaye today. The rally was held at the public grounds in Mahianganaye. The president was warmly accepted by the people who gathered there. Dilum Amanukana, who was once a close ally of Mahinda Rajapaksa, now stands in support of President Ranil Wickremesinghe because of his efforts to lead the country to victory in the economic crisis. At a time when neither the government nor the opposition was ready to take responsibility, Ranil Wickremesinghe, who was then a lone MP in Parliament, stepped up to take control. He made tough decisions and rescued the country, and for that we must express our gratitude. Chamara Sampath Dasanayake said that today is the postal voting day, and surveys indicate that President Wickremesinghe has secured 75% of the postal votes cast. He said that it is evident that President Wickremesinghe is well regarded for his service to the government employees. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that postal voting began today and they have received positive news. He said that he wants to thank everyone who voted for him. He said that 2 years ago, few believed it would be possible to hold an election like this, adding that he don't need to remind you of the chaos our country faced back then with the shortage of fuel, gas and medicine, with violence spreading across the nation. President Wickremesinghe said that the economic hardships severely impacted the people. He said that despite the challenges, he always believed this election to take place, and those who stood with him shared that belief. He further said that we began our efforts under the theme of creating Sri Lanka where an election could be held, and that today we have come before the people to establish economic stability in the country. He said that we have now had gas, fuel and medicine, and prices have decreased. President said that there is no shortages. Then we can take some satisfaction in that progress. He said, however, our goal is to make this economic stability permanent and to build a new economic system in the country. The president said that they have developed a program in consultation with the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank, and 18 countries that have provided them with loans.
හැමදාම පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ නැගිටලා ඕපාදූප කතා කරලා හැමදාම පෑ දෙක තුන නාස්ති කරලා අන්තිමට මොකද සිදුුනේ දැන් අනුර දිසානායක ඇවිල්ලා සජිත්ට තර්ජනයක් වෙයි සමහරු හිතනවා සජිත්ව පහු කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන් සජිත්ට බෑ අනුර දිසානායක පරස්සන්න සජිත් භාගේලාවට කරන්න මෝඩකමින් අනුර දිසානායකට උදව් කරනවා ඉතින් ඒක මතක තියාගන්න සැප්තැම්බර් 21 වෙනිදා ගිහින් ගෑස් සිලින්ඩරේ ළඟින් කතිරේ ගහන්න නැත්නම් ගෑසුත් නැති වෙනවා කෘෂි කර්මෙත් නැති වෙනවා.
President candidate Sajith Premadasa says that pension anomalies will be rectified and a 15,000 cost of living allowance will be paid to pensioners under Samagi Janabalavege government. He made these remarks at a SJB Public Services Pensioners meeting held in Colombo today. Senior representatives of the Public Services Pensioners Force and many others were present at this meeting. An MOU between Sajith Premadasa and pensioners were also signed at this occasion. Secretary to the Public Services Pensioners Force K.A. Tilakaratna said that they only want to spend the last period of their lives happily and contented. He said that they also want to spend their final stage of life without debt burden, adding that they have come to an agreement with the opposition leader to gather their aspirations to be fulfilled. He said about 720,000 pensioners are satisfied with the opposition leader as he has fulfilled this election's promise when he will come into power. Further saying that many candidates make pledges to the pensioners that cannot be realized. He said that therefore they are happy to receive such an agreement with the opposition leader.
විශ්වාසය අපිට තියෙනවා. අර දෙන්නම් කාසිය නෙවෙයි දැන් මේ දවස්වල දෙන්නම් කාසිය ඕන තරම් එනවා. කුක්කුවකට මායිම් නොකරන ඔබ සමග අද විපක්ෂ නායකතුමා සඳහනගත වෙලා ඔබ සමග ඉදිරියට යාමට කටයුතු කිරීම පිළිබඳව අපි එක්සිටින් සතුටටපත් වෙනවා. අපේ ජ්‍යෙෂ්ඨ පුරවැසියන් අපි රැක
Parliamentarian J.C. Alavatungala said that the SJB is committed to safeguard the senior citizens of the country. He said that Sajith Premadasa is a leader with proven ability and he will also pay 15,000 rupees cost of living allowance to pensioners as well. Parliamentarian Ranjit Madhubandara said that our leader has promised in writing to increase the pension allowance according to the circular issued in 2016. Presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa said that pensioners of the entire island will be given a minimum increase of 70% of their pensions. He said that about 720,000 pensioners expect a reasonable increase in their pension allowance, saying that when the public servants were given 10,000 rupee salary increase, pensioners were only given 2,500 rupees increase, and that therefore the future of the SJB government will commit to pay 15,000 rupee cost of living allowance for the pensioners. He added that the pensioners who retired before 2016 will be included in the Aghara insurance scheme, and that SJB will again give the senior citizens of the 15% increased interest rate for the fixed deposits.
2016 වර්ෂයට පෙර විශ්‍රාම ලැබූ සියලු නිලධාරීන් සාධාරණ දායක මුදලක් අයකුත් අග්‍රහාර රක්ෂණය ලබා දෙන්නට අපි අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කටයුතු කරනවා කියන එක මම මේ අවස්ථාවේ ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න කැමතියි. 15%ක් සේ පැවති පොලි අනුපාතය අපි අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම නැවතත් වරක් ලබා දෙනවා. ඒ පිළිබඳව ශ්‍රාමික ප්‍රජාව වෙනුවෙන් ජාතික ප්‍රතිපත්තියක් අපි සකස් කරනවා.
In the meantime, the major four three-wheel associations say that they will support the independent candidate President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the upcoming presidential election. About 1,000 representatives of these associations were present at the Colombo Golfers Green to meet the president in this connection, and accordingly, the president met them and had a mutual discussion. All Island Three-Wheel Drivers Trade Union, Taxi App, Three-Wheeler Professionals Unity, United Commuter Transport Service Professionals Association, Western Provisional Three-Wheel Drivers and Owners Cooperative Society have come forward to extend their support to the President. Chairman of the Union of National Taxi App Drivers, Jasmine Lanka, said that recently a business was launched through a taxi app taking advantage of the informal nature of this industry, causing various difficulties for three-wheeler owners. He said that, however, with the legal framework established and gazetted by the President, these problems have now been resolved. He said that 2 years ago we were a group of people standing in fuel queues for weeks. He said that thanks to the President, we now have access to enough fuel, enabling us to work again. Chairman of the All Island Three-Wheeler Drivers Association, Lalit Dharmasekara, said that for over 25 years we have been advocating for positive change in our sector, but it was President Ranil Wickremesinghe who resolved the issue in less than 24 hours after we presented it to him. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that when introducing three-wheelers to Sri Lanka, late President J.R. Jayawardena showed a keen interest, and today the success has surpassed expectations, with tens of thousands now owning three-wheelers. He said that as a result, it is essential to organize the three-wheeler industry within a proper framework. He said that we have already addressed the framework and the regulatory issues that the industry was facing. He said that additionally, we've worked on introducing a pension scheme for three-wheeler drivers, which has received cabinet approval. We also plan to address the challenges the industry faced due to COVID-19 and the economic crisis, providing relief through the two state banks and discussing similar measures with the private banks. A more structured organization is necessary for the three-wheeler industry. Moving on to more news here at home, the National People's Power says that it will never go away from the IMF conditions unilaterally. Presidential candidate Anura Kumara Dissanayake made these remarks at a meeting with business community held yesterday. This meeting has been called for informing the business on the economic, finance and foreign policy of the National People's Power. Diplomats, academics, intellectuals, businessmen and many others were present at this meeting. Presidential candidate of the National People's Power, Anwar Kumar Dissanayake, said that the government has entangled the country's future with the entire program of the IMF. He said that therefore any faction cannot unilaterally deviate from this agreement. He said that therefore the National People's Power will assure the people that the IMF agreement will not be changed unilaterally. He said that the NPP will suggest some parameters to the IMF to change this agreement fruitful for the country. He said that the NPP is to achieve positive economic targets with the help of the IMF. He said that therefore detailed discussions will be held to change the conditions conducive for the people of Sri Lanka. He also said that there is a special debate regarding the role of the central bank. He said that independence of the central bank is important for the stability of finance market in the country, and also that economic stability is very much important for the country since the cost of living fluctuates continuously. He also said that therefore the NPP accepts the right of the central bank to act as an independent body. That NPP also expects the support of the central bank to achieve its economic targets, and that in the safety and stability of the state. He said that government should present a part of the national economy since it directly leads to the national security. He said that there are some areas that should be under control of the government.
නිරන්තරයෙන් පොලි අනුපාතික ඉහළ පාල යන නිරන්තරයෙන් විනිමය අනුපාතික ඉහළ පාල යන ආර්ථිකයක් අනුව නිතරම අවිනිශ්චිත ආර්ථිකයක්. ඒ නිසා මෙම කාර්යයන් ඉටු කිරීම සඳහා මහ බැංකුවට ස්වාධීනව කටයුතු කිරීම සඳහා තිබෙන අයිතිය අපි පිළිගන්නවා. ඒ ජනවරමේ අපේක්ෂාවන් මුදුන්පත් කර ගැනීම සඳහා මහ බැංකුවේ සහාය අපි අපේක්ෂා කරන අරනකොට අපේ දේශපාලන අරමුණු සාක්ෂාත් කර ගැනීම සඳහා මහ බැංකුව අපි කිසිසේත්ම උපයෝග කරගන්නේ නැහැ. එනිසා ආර්ථිකයට ඉතාම සංවේදී ශේෂ්ත්‍ර යම් ප්‍රමාණයක් තිබෙනවා. රාජ්‍ය යම් හිමිකාරීත්වයක් දැරවිය යුතු. රාජ්‍ය ආරක්ෂාව සහ රාජ්‍ය ස්ථාවරත්වයේ අරමුණෙන් යම් ශේෂ්ත්‍රවල යම් පංගුවක් රජය විසින් නියෝජනය කළ යුතුයි. බලශක්ති වෙළඳපොලේ ආණ්ඩු පංගුවක් තිබිය යුතුයි කියලා අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා. මූල්‍ය වෙළඳපොලේ ආණ්ඩු පංගුවක් තිබිය යුතුයි. ජාතික ආරක්ෂාවට රුජු ලෙස සම්බන්ධ සමහර ශේෂ්ත්‍ර රාජ්‍ය පංගුවක් තිබිය යුතුයි. ඒ අරුණකොට රජයේ ව්‍යාපාර කොට ලාභ ලිපීමේ අරමුණකින් අපි රාජ්‍ය ආයතන මේ වන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා අපි හිතනවා අපිට ශක්තිමත් කළ යුතු රාජ්‍ය ව්‍යවසායකම් ප්‍රමාණයකුත් තිබෙනවා. අපි විසින් අත්තරිය යුතු රාජ්‍ය ව්‍යවසායකම් ප්‍රමාණයකුත් තියෙනවා. අපි මේ දෙකම හඳුනාගෙන තිබෙනවා.
In the meantime, presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Namal Rajapaksa says that new laws will be introduced to confirm the security of power and energy. He made these remarks at a public meeting held in Dehiwala yesterday. This meeting has been organized under the patronage of leader of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Venerable Ittakande Saddhatissa Thera said that they have no trust on Ranil Wickremesinghe. The Thera said that Sajid Premadasa also expresses various ideas. The Thera said that the other candidates set fire to the tea factories constructed by the British colonials. The Thera said that they also set fire to transformers and CTB buses. Also, he said that they killed Buddhist monks and artists like Sagarika Gomez and Vijay Kumar Thunga. The Thera said therefore they would not vote for the JVP. Parliamentarian Tissa Kuttiarachi asked the people not to be upset by watching the JVP rallies. He said that if they hold a rally in Dehiwala, they bring people to Dehiwala from Kankasanture, Ampara, Ambalanguda and other faraway areas. He said that in this rally all the people are within and around Dehiwala. He said that on the 21st of this month, the people should vote for the 38-year-old young leader, Namal Rajapaksa. Presidential candidate Namal Rajapaksa said that in a future Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna government, they would introduce laws to confirm the security of the power and energy sector. He also said he is the only candidate who represents the next generation. He said that economic transformation based on the Colombo port city will be created, and also said that the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna generate new employment opportunities during the period of next 10 years, and that the economy will be doubled to an amount of $180 billion.
ඒතුළු අලුත් රැකී ආරක්ෂා අපේ රටේ උත්පාදනය කරන පමණක් නෙවෙයි ඊළඟ අවුරුදු 10 ඇතුළත අපේ රටේ ආර්ථිකය වර්තමාන ආර්ථිකයෙන් දෙගුණයක් බවට පත් කරලා ඩොලර් බිලියන 180ක් ඉක්ම වූ ආර්ථිකයක් බවට මේ මාතෘ භූමියේ ආර්ථිකය අපි පරිවර්තනය කරනවා කියන එකත් අපි ඔබ තමුන්නාසලාට කියනවා.
Another rally of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramina was held at the residence of former State Minister late Sanat Nishanta. And another rally of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramina was held at the Nainamad area in Bennapur.
The debate of the presidential candidates organised by the powerful organisation and the March 12 movement is to be held under 3 stages. Addressing the media today, Executive Director of the powerful organisation, Rohana Hettiarachchi, said that the first round of the debate will commence on the 7th of this month. The Executive Director of the powerful organisation, Rohana Hettiarachchi, said that all presidential candidates will be called for the same stage and a debate will commence there. He said that through this debate we expect to give the opportunity for the people to question all these candidates regarding their election policy manifestos at the same stage. He said that people will be able to monitor the policies and select a suitable candidate to hand over the rule of law to the country in another 5-year period. He said that the first stage of the candidates have been invited and the debate will be held at BMICH from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. He said that all TV channels in the country have agreed to telecast the debate live.
මේ සඳහා මේ රටේ ක්‍රියාත්මක වන සියලුම රූපවාහිනී නාලිකා හවස 3 සිට 5 දක්වා මේ සජීවීව මේ විකාශනය කරන්නට එකඟතාවය පළ කළ තියෙනවා.
In the meantime, Health Minister Dr. Ramesh Patrana says that a new political alliance with the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramina and other political parties will be launched tomorrow, and the minister made these remarks at a media briefing held in Bathramulla today. Health Minister Dr. Ramesh Patrana said that people can see the team that will join with us. He said that this will be a major expansive political structure representing the entire island. State Minister Pramita Bandarathenakone said that we are ready to take the first step of forming a wider alliance needed for the country. And State Minister Anuradha Charatna said that this will be the biggest alliance that is represented by a large number of parliamentarians and a large number of former councillors of the local government bodies.
Leader of the House, Minister Susil Premachandra, says that the government that ended the queues of passporting issues is not a problem for the government that entered the era of fuel and gas queues. The Department of Immigration and Immigration has not printed the sufficient amount of passport books at present. Therefore, the government will take measures to bring it to normalcy within a period of 1 month. The minister made these remarks addressing the parliament today. Opposition leader Sajid Premadas said that e-passport concept is commendable. However, the program has been paralysed due to various reasons. He said that passport conversion must be carried out with a proper plan and the President and the Cabinet is responsible for the current crisis. The leader of the House, Minister Susil Premachandra, said, responding to the opposition leader, that the government made urgent steps to resolve the parliament passport crisis. Necessary sectors have been advised. With proper measures, the government is rectifying the process of issuing e-passports. He further said that the passport issue can be tackled by government in the same way that it resolved the severe economic crisis in the country.
Moving on, presidential candidate Venerable Akmimana Dayarathanathera says that if the voters cannot select a correct leadership at this moment, the country will again fall into a miserable situation. Thera made these remarks at a media briefing held today. Presidential candidate Venerable Akmimana Dayarathanathera said that so far over 76 years people have elected rulers without inquiring their knowledge and intelligence. Thera said that due to the unfair-sighted voting and misled by false promises, the pathetic situation has developed in the country. Thera said that owing to all these today we have a bankrupted country. Thera also said that all leaders attempt to take more loans and have no proper program to develop the country.
දේශීය නිෂ්පාදනයේ ක්‍රියාවලිය සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම කඩා වැටිච්ච රටක් බවට අදපත් වෙලා තියෙන නිසා මේ වෙලාව ඊටාම තීරණාත්මක අවස්ථාවකට අපි එළඹිලා තිබෙන්නේ. මොකද මේ වෙලාවේදී අපිට හරි නායකත්වයක් තෝරගන්න බැරි වුණොත් නැවතත් රට ඊටාම අභාග්‍ය සම්පන්න ඉරණමකට තමයි රටපත් වෙන්න සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. අද සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ලෝකෙන් ණය අරගෙන තව තවත් ඉස්සරහට පවත්වාගෙන යනවා මිසක් වෙන වැඩ පිළිවෙලක් මේ ඉදිරිපත් කරන ලද ප්‍රතිපත්ති ප්‍රකාශවල සහ ඉදිරිපත් වෙන ලද ජනාධිපතිවරුන් තුළ දකින්න ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ.
Presidential candidate Roshan Ransingham expressed his views at a media briefing held yesterday. There he requested all the people to elect him as the president since he is the most suitable candidate in this election race. Presidential candidate Roshan Ransingham said that he has prepared a plan from the beginning to double the salaries of the people. He said that only politicians are enjoying life at present. He said that he has not taken any benefits from being a minister or a parliamentarian. He said that people do not run after a mirage, adding that politicians say that they depend on friends to fulfill their personal needs, and that how can such a group of politicians build up the country? He said that about 62% of the voters belong to the central leftist camp and that the politicians do not cross over as frogs for personal benefits. Finally, adding that therefore he requests all voters to elect him as the president at the upcoming presidential election.
අන්නේ ඡන්දදායකයා පණින්නේ නැහැ. අන්නේ සියලු දෙනාගෙන් මම ඉල්ලනවා. ඔබ අවදි වෙන්න. හොඳම පුද්ගලයා මේ රටේ ජනාධිපති කරන්න ඔබ පෙළ ගැහෙන්නයි කියන ඉල්ලීම මම මෙතනදී කරනවා.
Presidential candidate Vijaydas Rajapaksa says that some parties are attempting to grab the votes of the people, placing false promises before them. He made these remarks addressing the media. Presidential candidate Vijaydas Rajapaksa said that the people can see some racketeers and unscrupulous businessmen are also sitting on the stages of some candidates. He also said that they are expecting nationalist parliamentary seat in the next parliament. He said that some have already paid an advance to get this benefit and that the aim of the corrupted businessmen is to save their corrupted businesses. He also said that some have proven guilty of various offences before courts. And also he said that when he comes to power, the rule of law will be fully established. And he further said that measures have already been taken to count the expenditure of each and every presidential candidate prior to the election.
ඒ කරේ මේ රටේ නීතියේ ආධිපත්‍යය ඇති කරන්න. එතකොට මේක මැතිවරණයේදී ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් රටේ නීතිය අනිත් තැන්වලදී කොහොමද ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ? ඒ නිසා අපි තොරතුරු එකතු කරනවා, සෑම අපේක්ෂකයෙකුගේම තොරතුරු එකතු කරනවා, ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ වියදම් අපි එකතු කරනවා.
Presidential candidate Sarath Fonseca says that his intention is to be away from the distorted party politics and serve the people for the well-being of the country's future. He made these remarks at a public rally held in Mount Lavinia yesterday. Presidential candidate Sarath Fonseca said that about 50% of the party politicians are thieves. He said that there are another 35% of politicians who have no political intelligence or vision. He added that there are only about 15 to 18% of politicians who can be considered as leaders with a proper vision. He said that therefore he has decided to be away from the party politics and help the people independently in the politics. He said that people are struggling to have 3 meals a day and to give a proper education to their children and to pay water and electricity bills. Adding that his seat in Kalania, over 50% of the people are shanty dwellers. Further saying that some families' daily income and they made him to ask for help to pay their electricity bills. He said that therefore his political system should be compulsorily changed.
Presidential candidate Siritunga Jayasuryas requests the public servants not to be deceived by the election promises of the presidential candidates. He made this request expressing his views to the media. Presidential candidate Siritanga Jayasuriya said that some presidential candidates are staging dramas targeting the postal vote of the public servants. He said that Ranil Wickremesinghe and Sajith Premadasa make various pledges. He said that even Anura Kumara, disregarding his policy-based politics, also gives false promises. He also said that Namal Rajpaksha made pledges after pledges to grab the power. He also said that all candidates should have confidence over their politics and policies. He said that Ranil Wickremesinghe has pledged salary increase just before the presidential election. And he also said that therefore government servants has a huge responsibility in voting intelligently without being misled by false promises.
අති විශාල වගකීමක් තිබෙනවා තමුන්ගේ ඡන්දය ඉතාම බුද්ධිමත් ලෙස පාවිච්චි කරන්න. කියන කතාවලට දෙන පොරොන්දු වලට රැවටෙන්න එපා.
A program on the series to inform the policies and future programs of all political candidates who contest the upcoming presidential election was held today under the patronage of presidential candidate Mohammed Infas. Presidential candidate Mohammed Infas said that people of the country were in an opinion that all 225 parliamentarians should be removed. He said that accordingly he decided to contest the election with the experience of being the chairman of the Pradeshiya Sabha earlier. He said he can develop the fishing industry by helping the fishermen rowing along the coastal and lagoon belts around the country. He said that proving relief to general public has collapsed. Therefore, he said people face many difficulties. He said that if he is elected president, he would provide concessions to people for the next 5 years. He added that the tourism sector will also be developed.
මිනිස්සු සහායක දුන්නා නම් අපිට එත්තම ඒකට සතුටු කරලා සානාදාර විදියට අවුරුදු 5 අපිට දෙන්න පුළුවන්. වටේ පූරාම ගොඩ කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේ ටුවරිස්ට් එක අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන්.
We'll be back with foreign news after a short break. Now on foreign news, foreign media reported that 6 children and a pregnant woman were among the 12 people who died after a boat carrying dozens of migrants sank off the French coast in the English Channel.
And the boat had reportedly been attempting to cross from France to the United Kingdom when it was spotted in difficulty by a French vessel. In total, 10 of the dead were female and 2 were male. According to the local prosecutor's office, more than 50 people were rescued off Cape Grenade near Boulogne-sur-Mer, the French Coast Guard reported. The official stated that 2 are said to be in critical condition. The authorities stated that the boat was overloaded and that it's the bottom ripped open.
That's it for tonight's English News Telecast. Thanks for joining us. Good night.